Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Justin Lentz.
Good job for Jason Kramer, ladies and gentlemen. I remember when I met Jason outside of this place after doing a show, and he showed me that there's some places around the corner that have like inlets that you can actually smoke weed in and nobody will bother you. But I was pretty excited about that, and we started booking these shows. I like how this microphone is set up because it feels like I jumped down from up there and be like, I'm gonna tell you some shit. Pretty cool. Anyway, so I am excited to be here because I got to take a little bit of time off my new job, which has been a long kind of dream of mine for a while. I'm actually officially sponsored to play video games now, which, thank you, very exciting to me. It's a lot easier than I thought it was. Like, really all you have to do is find a sponsor. And my sponsor happens to be the Oregon Department of Unemployment. Nice. They are great because they only ask a couple of questions. They only ask them to play one video game. It's called Lying About Looking for Jobs. It's crazy that made that a lot easier for me. But shitty part about being unemployed is I realize I'm completely unprepared to own a new car now because I don't have health insurance. And they're putting this thing called OnStar in cars lately. Like, have you guys seen this thing? It's this little box that lives in your dashboard that alerts the authorities when you hit something with your vehicle. That's not how they market it. That's just kind of what I see whenever I see that commercial. And one, if you live in my dashboard, you work for me, right? You don't work for a government entity. And if I hit something with my car, if you could at least let me know which direction they're coming from, and then maybe you could talk to the GPS and alert me to the closest drain pipe to maybe store some shit in and come back later after that shit's kind of died down a little bit. But yeah, it is pretty crazy though because it made me actually think about like they need to come up with like GPS for stoners. Like it would be kind of like a double-edged sword type thing because like be driving down the freeway and just be like, there's a McDonald's over on the left-hand side. And it would start off real quiet, because it'd be like 10 miles out, and be like, no. And be like, there's a Jack in the Box like 7 miles up if you want to check that one out. And then that one I would obviously stop at, because Jack in the Box has a kick-ass dollar menu. They have those little Indian fried bread funnel cakes, which is a great thing to eat if you want your shit to look like what you're consuming. That's always nice. Because when I eat a Taco Bell, at least it doesn't come out wrapped. Like, those things come out still covered in powdered sugar, and it's fucking disgusting. But yeah, it's kind of awesome. Like, I've been in Portland for almost 8 years now. We originally came from this town called Redding, California. You guys know where Redding, California is? It's like the meth capital of Northern California. But we also have the most child molesters, so we have really fast child molesters. The weird part about growing up there, though, is it's a town that kind of lives without irony. Like, irony does not exist in Redding, California like it does in Portland, Oregon. And my dad went through a midlife crisis about 3 years ago and bought a 17-foot bass boat, because apparently if you live in Northern California, that's what a midlife crisis looks like, is a glittery 17-foot Ranger bass boat. But my dad, who built his house, by the way, which comes into play later, bought a 17-foot boat and owns a 15-foot garage. His solution to this was not to bring the boat back and get a 2-foot smaller boat. He knocked the back of the garage out. Now, I don't know about you guys, but has anybody ever broken into a tent? Because I sure have. All it takes is a lighter and willpower. Like, that's really like what you just turned your house into. Is like, oh, I'll just put a tarp up and it'll be fine. Nobody will notice that the wall's not there. Yeah, they will, because there's a boat sticking out of it. Yeah. Other thing I've been noticing a lot of lately, do you guys ride bikes here, by the way? I gotta always preface this. Do you ride a bike? Does anybody else ride bikes? Okay, good. I love that you guys raise your hands and they're like, woo! Yeah! If you do that shit in Portland, that's what happens.
It's a warning sign.
It kind of is. Like, well, except for in Portland, like, I can notice the bike riders because their chairs are like 20 feet tall. And they have to actually grab onto somebody to get off. That's a tall bike joke. Like, it's fucking, I don't need to be 17 feet in the air when I'm riding around on 2 wheels and a little high. Like, that doesn't sound like a good idea. I don't ride a unicycle for the same reasons. Well, that, and I plan on getting laid in the next 20 years. So, but I believe that if you ride a bike, and you ride a bike without lights on after dark, you technically fall under the Oregon-assisted suicide law. Because if I hit you, I'm not stopping. Like, because if I hear I didn't hit a car, and I'm happy that I didn't hit something that's registered with the state of Oregon. You're not gonna find me. I have lived off the grid in like the poor mentality for years, where it's like, I don't change my address and I just forget about shit. So it's kind of like, if I owe you money, Comcast cable or electric bills, good luck finding me. I've been living in other people's houses for about 5 years, because that's what you do in Portland. But I was actually reminded of how much of a nerd I am this year, which is very exciting for me, because like I needed constant reminders of that shit, right? My Dungeon Master for our Dungeons and Dragons campaign that I've been playing since I was 15 years old, his mom buys us dragon statues for Christmas every year, and I'm 28 years old, which means that I have a shit ton of dragon statues. They're like, I don't know what the hell is the deal with like wizard statues, dragon statues, but for some reason they have to be holding a marble, or a marble has to be like a centered point of some kind. Like there's a wizard who's just like, there's a fucking marble! Like it's just like, I don't know why, but it's like a centric part to like, if you build a dragon statue, somebody's like, it's missing something, you were like, and it's like, no. But so this year I get this one, and it's badass. It's like a green dragon, it's got a yellow stripe running down his back, it's this fucking epic pose. Marble! But whatever third world child that's putting these things together just didn't glue the marble down correctly. So I get it, and there's no marble in his hand. And I'm just like, fuck it, it's still a dragon statue. I'll put it up on my TV. And a friend of mine comes over and is just like, what the hell is above your TV? And I was like, oh, it's a dragon statue. And it's like one of those things, like if you proofread a paper, like if you've gone to college, like if you try to read your own material, you're going to miss all the spelling mistakes and shit like that. I had not noticed this myself. Now, what holds a marble on a dragon statue is a gob of hot glue. You know what hot glue looks like when it dries? You know what happens when you have a dragon statue and the dude's like this, there's no marble in his hand, and it's just a gob of glue? I now have a very guilty dragon staring at a pile of dragon guts. That's exactly what sits on my mantle now. And it's crazy, because instead of epic, his face has changed now, and he's just like, oh. If I was real, this could cure cancer. Because it probably could, because he's a dragon, and we can make up anything we want about him. So I'm going to leave you guys on this one. It's something that actually is an older joke that I wrote back when I actually had a job, and I lived in Portland, but worked in Beaverton, which, by the way, sucks. So I used to work for this IT company out in Beaverton, so I used to go to lunch every day at this place called Cafe Yum. Cafe Yum is from Eugene, and they're like a local organic kind of produce thing, where they have like, you know, all their stuff is really localized, and they have like the Kasi beer and stuff like that. And I go in, and I'm just like, oh, you guys should carry Viso. Mainly because the 7-Eleven across the street Visos were way too expensive. You always gotta get something out of it, right? But, so anyway, I'm telling this guy like, oh yeah, you should carry this, it's a local product and stuff like that. He's like, well, we try to keep it more Eugene style. And I'm like, what the fuck is Eugene style? And I realized that the place closed at 4 p.m. and the guy had just roofied my iced tea. So just be careful. If somebody refers to Eugene style, you're about to take a forced nap. Like, that's gonna happen. Thank you guys very much. I'm Justin Lentz.